Hey, what it do, y'all? It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again. I know it's been a couple of days, but you know how that schedule be. But it is the off season, and technically the off season is still new. As we talk about this off season and finally getting DeMarcus Lawrence paid. As you guys see in my last video where I was talking about DeMarcus Lawrence, he's finally paid. Um, there's been some news coming out about that whole situation, how that transpired. You know, issues with the agent, issues with the Cowboys just not having um, at the right level with DeMarcus Lawrence. Now, DeMarcus Lawrence states that he would have never turned down 20 million, but you did though. Um, Saying that he would have never held out if it would have got all the way down to that situation, he would have just took the 20 mil. Okay, maybe, but now you tell us after we sign you. But whatever. I look at it like this. He signed, so none of it really matters now. But just to recap a little bit, it's funny that all it took was the Cowboys to just sit on the phone and have a conference call with him and just come to the grips. DeMarcus Lawrence looks at it like this. Um, I want the team to to want me. You know what I mean? Like these players want to feel wanted. So I guess when they gave him the franchise tag, I guess he just felt like it was in his eyes. I guess he felt like he was disrespected in a way, maybe to the point of, okay, well, you're not signing me long term. What does this mean? You're are you testing me? That's what some of the players think, I guess. But me personally, I'm like, shit, 20 million is 20 million. But um, although the franchise tag was just south of that with the 18, but it is what it is. It's still money, and he about to get married, and perfect time for him to get a new contract signed. So um, shout out to him and his future wife, and that they have plenty of merry years together. Now, um, it's out of the way. He's had his surgery today. Um, they say what, 2 to 3 months, 3 to 4 months recovery, depending on how he goes. So we're definitely not going to see him in the offseason program. So you look at it like this. Hopefully he'll be ready for the beginning of the season. But again, that's what we thought was going to happen anyway. Glad that they got the deal done sooner than later. It is what it is. Um, Now I'll get into some other things too. But what I wanted to say real quick is, and probably news that nobody really cares about, but I'm gonna talk about it anyway. A couple of days ago, the Cowboys cut. Well, no, they did today. Cowboys. This happened today, actually. I'm sorry. Cowboys released offensive lineman Parker Inger and defensive tackle Aziz Shitu. Um, which is funny because Jason Garrett never wanted to say his name because his last name is Shitu. But either way, um, and you guys are probably wondering like who the hell is Aziz Shitu? Yeah, he was a practice squad guy. He was on the practice squad last year. They picked him up last offseason as a reserve futures contract guy. Never cracked the team. So doesn't really matter that he's released. Um, but Parker Inger, you guys know about Parker Inger. We got him last August in the trade um, with the Chiefs, Kansas City Chiefs. We traded Charvarius Ward for him. Now, the Chiefs won in that deal. They did. Because we traded Charvarius Ward um, to the Chiefs, and then all of a sudden, a week later, Parker Inger gets hurt and is on IR for the rest of the season. Doesn't even get a chance to play a snap in the regular season. God damn. All Charvarius Ward did was start a couple of games for the Chiefs. He actually moved up the depth chart with them. Like, I really liked him. I wish that we would have kept him. That was a good DB. Like he was doing well with the Cowboys last offseason in training camp, if you guys remember. Then they all of a sudden traded him. I was like, why? For this offensive lineman that's injury prone? Now, a little history behind him. He was drafted in 2016 by the Kansas City Chiefs in the fourth round. He started some games with them. He had some decent games, but again, he got injured and didn't get to live out his 4-year contract that he signed his rookie year. and they kind of had him, as a reserve player, and then the Cowboys decided they wanted to trade for him because they knew the Chiefs weren't going to use him. They were going to cut him anyway. So again, I feel like the Cowboys got the weak end of the stick on that one, if you know what I mean. But it is what it is. It happens. You can't hit on everybody because that would mean that you be a robot and you be perfect and you can see into the future because you never know what's going to happen with a player on a team. Whatever the situation is, you just don't know. You can't. There's no way you can see these things coming. Just like with the guys coming out in the draft, you don't know who's going to be a bust. Any of these guys can be a bust. Anybody, it doesn't matter. It could be somebody that goes in the first round, the first pick in the first round. It could be a fourth round guy. It could be anybody. Anybody could be a bust. But when you look at a bust player, it's more so of a first or second round pick. Anybody else is just, you don't care about the later rounds. But first and second round picks, you got to do something. You got to do something for your team, especially a first round pick. And anything in the top 10, you better be playing very well for your team. Because if not, it's a wasted pick. So as we talk about contracts, now that I'm sorry. So let me finish my topic. I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead a little bit. But again, with Parker Enger, he's now gone. So looks like the Cowboys are more than likely going to be drafting more offensive linemen in the draft, which is what they should do. You want these guys to battle out in training camp and work it out. As far as Aziz Shitu, nobody really knew who he was anyway. He never made an impact on the Cowboys. He was just a body. I hate to say that. I really hate to say that because these guys work hard in their lives to try to get on NFL teams and stuff like that. And it's really hard to crack a lineup, but it is what it is. I think we got him from the Eagles last year. I think we took him from their practice squad. If I recall, I think it was. But yeah, because they didn't really use him either, so it doesn't matter. As moving forward, now that DeMarcus Lawrence is signed, hey Coco. Now that DeMarcus Lawrence is signed, we look to see who's next. You still got some guys that need to eat off of this plate too. Now, as of right now, DeMarcus Lawrence is the highest paid player in Cowboys history, franchise history. Now, as Stephen Jones stated, that ain't gonna be for long. He's kind of speculating that maybe Dak Prescott might get a high contract. Now, if Dak Prescott gets anything north of $23 million a year, it's gonna be a bigger contract than D-Law. Now, D-Law's contract, the way it's set up for his first year, for this year, he can get up to $31 million in this first season, and then the rest of it will be the 21, the rest of the contract. Now, as far as Dak Prescott goes, there's speculation on what he deserves and things of that nature. I'm not going to go into that right now in this video. That'll be for a later date. And some of it I spoke on in previous videos. You can go back and check those out. But as I sit here and we talk about Dak, there's people that hate Dak, which I don't understand. There's people that love Dak. There's people that are just, whatever. He might do something, might not. Dak Prescott is just a different type of player, And you look at this guy even off the field, like he's just a stand-up guy. And this is how his mother raised him before she passed away. And, she did a great job raising Dak Prescott to be, to grow up to be a good young man. And the fact that, he's heading this whole breast cancer donation charity thing for people dealing with breast cancers and raising money for that. And shout out to all the Cowboy fans that have donated to the mom organization. That I'm telling you, there's nothing that gives me more joy than to see people give back and do different things like that, because it brings out the positivity in the situation. But outside of that, Dak Prescott is the leader of our team, whether you like it or not. He's our quarterback, and we, as a Dallas Cowboy fan, regardless of how you feel about him, you got to back him up because he is your quarterback. And those of you that didn't like Romo when he was here, it's the same thing. That is your quarterback. You got to stand behind him. If you're a fan of the team, you got to roll with the punches. It's just how it works. You're more than welcome to feel how you feel, but when you talk about how you feel, give valid points. And you got to give valid points, because if you say somebody sucks, you say somebody subpar, you got to have documentation to back it up. Where are your documents? Where are your documents? You must have your documents. Again, you got your documents to back it up. You're good to go. And again, I'll debate it all day. If you give me a legitimate reason, I had a conversation with you. But if you go come at me with garbage, then I'm gonna disregard what you're saying because none of it makes sense. You just say, "Oh, he sucks. He sucks. He sucks." How? Oh, he sucks. How? Oh, he sucks. How? He sucks. Okay, whatever. It is what it is. Now I can go a long list of stats and the things that he's done in his young career already. Now going into his fourth year, I think Dak's going to be a much better quarterback. Now, as far as what he's worth, that remains to be seen. But I will say that I think that anywhere between 25 and 27 is probably what he's going to get. He might get more than that. Who knows? The way Stephen Jones is talking, he might. They're going to pay him, and this is the thing. You got a couple of options. If you do it now, before Russell Wilson gets paid by Seattle, you set the market. But if you wait for Russell Wilson, he's going to set that short window market because the person that's really going to set the bar high after next season is going to be Pat Mahomes. When Pat Mahomes gets paid by the Chiefs, it's going to be north of $200 million. He is going to break the internet, break the NFL, break all of social media. So that's how that contract's going to go. Now, is Dak Prescott better than Mahomes? No, I'm not going to say that. Not at all. But I love Dak Prescott as our quarterback. He fits for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, when you say that a player is better than another player, again, it's all an interpretation. It's just like when you say that if somebody is beautiful or attractive or good looking, just because you think this person is gorgeous, this person may not think that. So to say that, I'm using that comparison as it's all an interpretation who you're talking about. Now, if you're talking about just raw talent, I would say that Pat Mahomes has the edge because Pat Mahomes got the better coordinator right now, and he's got the better coaching staff over there on the offensive side. So, yeah. I look at it like this. Now, with Dak Prescott, I think that he deserves the money. He's been playing on this minimum contract. He is one of the most underpaid players in the league. There are, I want to say, more than half of the backups in the league are making more than he is right now, and that's ridiculous. Now, I understand it's because he was a fourth-round pick, and he wasn't expected to play. But he also got some incentives last year from the NFL that paid him more money. It's called what do they call it? At the end of the season, they give you like a bonus for your level of performance. So basically, if you're a late round pick, but you're a starter and you've moved up and you do a lot for the team, they pay you more money for that. And Dak is hella deserving of it. And that's the reason why he did all these sponsorships, because you got to get your money, bro. Zeke's making a little bit over $6 million a season. He's a first round pick. They got the 5th-year option on that, so they technically don't have to touch Zeke this year. They ain't got to touch him. They can wait till next year, because next year all of your cornerbacks are going to be off the books. Like, you're going to have to figure out who you're going to keep with your cornerbacks, because all of them seem like they came in at the same time, so all the contracts are up at the same time. It's crazy. So you got your DBs to worry about. You got Zeke, because I think that they're going to hold off for that, because you're going to have over $90 million in cap space next year. Not too bad. One last thing as far as that goes. You look at Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper is definitely going to be a guy the Cowboys are looking to sign. He is the only guy that's as young as he is, 24 years old, that has the numbers like the guys that are 26, 27, 31. You look at guys like AB and stuff that's been in the league a while. You know what I mean? But I think that Amari Cooper is up there, especially for the Dallas Cowboys, him being our new number 1 wide receiver. That chemistry that he's gaining and getting more with Dak Prescott is huge. It's unmatched at this point. So I look at it like this. When it's the next people to get signed is going to be Dak and Amari. Amari is your first round pick, so you got to pay him such. I can see him getting anywhere between 16, 17 mil a year. I think that's good for him. He's only 24, so you can give him a 5. You don't have to just give him a 4-year contract. You can give him a 5-year contract, and you just spread that money out, put some bonuses and incentives in there, and just sprinkle it all in there, and everything will be good. Everything will be good. Now, real quick, what I want to say before I finish this video, I don't want to be too long. Preseason schedule for this year came out this week, and we already know Cowboys do training camp in Oxnard, so we're always going to play California teams early in preseason. So we kick off the preseason schedule with the Dallas Cowboys play at the San Francisco 49ers for the first game of the preseason. Week 2, Dallas plays the Rams, but it's not going to be at the Rams facility. It's going to be in Honolulu, Hawaii at Aloha Stadium. Now, I don't know if that's set in stone. I think it's set in stone. Who knows? Things could change from now and then. Who knows? But again, the Rams are getting a new stadium, so I think some of that has something to do with it as well. The reason why, so they're going to be playing in Hawaii. And that's going to be kind of cool to see a preseason game in Hawaii. I wish that I had some money to go because I've never been to Hawaii, and I think that would be awesome. Now, week 3, Cowboys come back to Texas to finish up the rest of training camp. You know how they do. I don't need to explain that. That's what they do. They spend half of training camp in Oxnard and half of it back in at Frisco. So coming back home to Frisco, what do we call it? The Governor's Cup. What do they call it in Texas? The Governor's Cup. The interstate rivals. Houston Texans come to town. Come up the street to come see the Cowboys. In week 3 of preseason, that should be cool. Then week 4. Tampa Bay comes to Dallas. And that's the end of your preseason. Then you get ready for the start of the season. You get D-Law ready to go. You got Quinn now. Had them guys rushing between the left and right side. I'm telling you, it's going to be a great year. Now, as far as the draft goes, I'm still working hard on my draft. I'm not finished yet. I want to make sure that it's fire for you guys. Because you know me, I don't put out stuff without it being complete. I want to make sure that everything is good for you guys. And I'm working hard to get that done between me and my crazy schedule doing everything else in my life. So I'm still working on my draft. You guys are gonna get that. I'm gonna do my live stream tomorrow night, so check out for that. And also too, I'll speak about it on a live stream. I'm not gonna talk about it right now, but you guys were asking me about merchandise and stuff like that. I'm also still working on that. I got a preliminary logo design right now. And I'll unveil that to you guys tomorrow. So you'll see that tomorrow when I do my live stream. So with that being said, that's all I have for you this evening. Hope you guys had a great hump day. And for your rest of the week, I'll chat with you guys tomorrow. You guys have a great evening. Talk to you soon. It's your boy E2 Blue. Always keeping it real.